Good afternoon, almost good night. It's April the 29th, and I want to talk a little bit about Celeste, and I want to clear something up, a misconception about Breba. Okay? So, we're going to talk about what exactly happens to the Breba of Celeste. They fall off. Almost every single one falls off. In fact, most of the varieties that I'm familiar with, all of them fall off. Now there is some exception. There's one particular tree that comes from someplace, an island, that it always manages to ripen a few Breba, but they're of inferior quality. And you can see, this is Celeste, you can see that it looks beautiful. It looks like, wow, that's going to be a great fig. You know, I'm going to have some Celeste figs. Well, everybody thinks that, or a lot of people think that about Celeste, but it will fall off. It will not ripen. Okay. Now in Israel, the country Israel, they have a hormone. My friend Danny Yakir told me all about it, and I read some articles that he provided to me. And the Israelis have figured out a way to make Celeste produce Breba, to keep them on the branches, to keep them from falling off, to actually ripen the Breba, which is very interesting. I don't know enough about it. That's all I really know about it. But that's a very interesting proposition. However, I don't like using chemicals, hormones. I like to stay as organic as I can. It's not always easy. Sometimes not possible. But I try as much as is possible. It's something I'd keep an open mind about it, but maybe it'd become commercially available eventually. But here you see the Breba. So I want you to understand that with Celeste, you will hear a lot of complaints, and people will say, I don't like Celeste, you know, they all fall off. No, they don't. The main crop will not. The main crop will not fall off. Now, when they're very, very young, maybe 1 or 2 years old, you might have some loss, especially if it's dry out. But after 2 years, 3 years, you're going to get a full crop of Celeste. Now, they're very, very reliable fig, which I know I talk about a lot because I think that every single figster should really have, especially people starting out. Actually, let me say straightforward, I think just about everybody that likes and enjoys eating figs should have a Celeste in their yard. I'm in 7A, and from 7A warmer, you can pretty much count on a full crop of Celeste, and you really need very little protection. Sometimes none at all. Sometimes I wrap them, and sometimes I don't. This year I did not wrap this fig, and you can see it's doing just marvelously. It's beautiful. It's going to produce a lot of figs. All the Breba will fall off, especially with this variety. I know that, and that's okay. That's what they do. But don't confuse the Breba, the first crop on last year's wood, with the main crop, the second crop, on new wood, on new growth. Okay, it's starting to rain. So I hope I've cleared that up. Don't let that ever deter you, or people telling you that. There's a lot of misinformation, unfortunately, out there in the fig world. And I've been trying to, wherever I can, I've been trying to correct it. Of course, I make mistakes too. We all do. Okay? It's a learning process, and that's okay. Okay? So, but I try to address as many of these misconceptions as I can, because I want people, especially people that are just starting out in figs, I want them to have the benefit of some of these time-tested varieties that I keep endorsing, and I'm going to continue to endorse them because they will produce figs, and that's what we're doing. We're growing figs. Okay? So with that, it's starting to rain harder and harder. We're going to get a storm tonight. That's okay. We need some rain. Thank you for your visit. Grow a Celeste in your yard. Look at this. This will produce hundreds of figs this year. Look at that. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful thing. I won't go into any of the other varieties. It's raining. I'm going to make another video about Breba soon, but not now. So with that, good night.